Hello, greetings, and welcome back to the BFC, where we go into the trenches of the trading world. We have a ton of exciting stuff to talk about, but before we go anywhere, I am asking you to support the BFC. Check out the Patreon link and join our private Discord group. And hey, check out the new merch store too. Rob did a great job with this logo. Sam did a great job executing this order. Awesome stuff. And I got to say, I really am digging the rebrand. And, guys, I have been bringing it all year, but I got to ask a very serious question. This was last year's BFC Christmas card. who should stay on the card, and who should we take off the card? We have Brett Rose and we have JP. He looks pretty dynamite there. Let me just tell you, he looks like he's going to crack my neck. But no, seriously, who should be on the BFC Christmas card 2023? You tell me in the chat. I love doing that. It's just funny. You could tell that's when I was starting to learn how to use Canva, and I absolutely love that program. Tonight we have a lot to talk about. That surprise reverse merger with ticker IGPK, as well as the fact that Americans can now buy CyberLux stock, ticker CYBL. And we will have the president of Speed Trader on to walk you through the process, explain the details, and answer your questions. But before we get to dessert, let's start with the main course. Tonight, I have with me the management team of Branded Legacy Incorporated, CEO David Oswald, COO Joe Holladay, and CMO Doug Holladay. Let's bring him in.
Hey,
gentlemen, welcome to the BFC.
Thanks for having us. I think we look like we might be missing one.
We are missing one.
Yep.
Well, there he is.
There he is.
How's it going?
There he is.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Well, doing great.
Good.
Glad to be here.
Well.
So what I want to do is I want to go around the room. I want you guys just to introduce yourselves, talk a little bit about your history, your experience, and what's inspiring you to do all this.
Sure. So I went to school at Valencia State College and the University of Central Florida. I did a lot of research and development and such on minimal input, controlled environment crop production. That sort of eventually spun me into cannabis industry stuff, as you can imagine. Deep knowledge of hydroponic farming and stuff. And, as I got into there, I have some personal issues that I self-medicated with cannabis. So I knew that it was, something that was potentially very powerful medicine, not just something for having fun on the weekend. Have some family members with, severe illnesses such as cancer that were having a hard time with chemo and stuff like that. So I've seen what it can do firsthand. And then as an adult, just got more into biotech, in grad school. I had a really great ethnobotany professor. Shout out to Dr. Ronnie, if she's still there at UCF. That just got me in, hey, yeah, you already knew about cannabis, but there's a whole world of these other substances and other plants and, ethnobotanical knowledge that can be utilized for these things. And just really got me into looking at ways to solve problems for society, such as food production, as basic as it gets, you know what I mean? But, depression, anxiety, addiction, we have a lot of issues and we have a lot of solutions that aren't being utilized. So, that's what really got me into the industry and brought me to where I am now.
Right on. Doug, let's move over to you.
Yeah, so my background's a little bit different. It's in marketing, believe it or not, as the CMO. I've been doing web development and online marketing in some capacity now for about 17 years. But definitely have an interest in this, as we'll talk maybe a little bit later. As the Alcannabist, my brother Joe and I, we started that company basically out of a need for me to have something that worked for chronic migraine and headaches. So definitely have a big interest and a lot of need in this area as far as my own health, but also other people. I've had chronic migraines since I was 8 years old. So having something now that doesn't give me the side effects that I was experiencing from other medications, but is just as effective in staving off or rescuing, me from a migraine or a headache, that's a big deal. So marrying those two things was an easy thing. I am severely ADHD by nature. So I studied, as much as a layperson probably has, about CBD and cannabis and, the other compounds that we're talking about that we work with, namely mushrooms and, kratom, mitragynine, those types of things. I've definitely absorbed a lot of that knowledge over the years just because of my own personal, struggles with specifically migraines. So, but yeah, my background is in all things web development, web online marketing. And that's, we utilize that a lot in this business as well to white label for some of our, for potential clients and things like that. So.
Right on. I honestly couldn't imagine. I get a headache, and sometimes I'm a whiny bitch when it comes to that. But I gotta say, the truth is,
dude, a migraine is no joke, dude.
Dude, I've had them, your tension headache, and I'm telling you, it could be the worst. I couldn't imagine being 8 and having those things happen continually right through your adult life. Having to deal with chronic migraines. That sounds absolutely awful.
Yeah, and when you're a kid, when you're a kid, you don't really understand what that pain, where it is. I mean, the only thing I knew is that I had to stay perfectly still, and somebody had to be, rubbing my temples, usually my mom, and years of that, going through different medications and having everybody and their dog tell you, well, it's your diet. I did elimination diets, whatever, but yeah, ultimately this is as effective or more effective than any medication that I took with, nil side effects, nothing. So,
yeah, right on. Joe, tell us a little bit about your background, sir.
Okay. My emphasis in college was research methods. I graduated from Boise State. A little after that, as we talked about before the program, I got into music and things, but like Dave, I've always been really interested in cannabis as far as like a platform for a lot of solutions. You have something that, you have terpene blends that can help with like anti-mutagenics for cancer. You can help people get stimulated. You can do so much with it. You can relax people. You can help their appetite. So something like that I've been interested in for a long time. And then just kind of got started with Doug. We were raised in an LDS home. And so when he came to me with this CBD problem, knowing that he's still kind of, in the church or whatnot, he really didn't want to get into THC and stuff like that. And so what kind of got us all together was me trying to tackle the problem of his migraines by utilizing only CBD. And, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have believed that would have been possible. When he came to me and asked me, to try to help him out with that, I basically said, without THC, it's kind of the straw that stirs the drink. And I didn't think it would happen, but we did a lot of research into, different carrier molecules and different things like that. And we finally came up with something that has really good efficacy for just a CBD, like standalone kind of like, treatment for pain, migraines, all kinds of different things. And it just through a lot of like trial and error and, science and whatnot, we came up with something that was really good. And then finally, Dave reached out to me when he had heard through mutual people that we had that, that we basically had kind of cracked some of the codes to CBD.
If I could interject for a second, a big thing for this, so I also suffer from migraines. I also have an older brother that suffers from migraines. It's been very, debilitating at some times. And for me and for my brother, the traditional prescription medicines for this either make me sick, either make me nauseous, or they knock me out. So you got a choice. You want a migraine? Do you want to be vomiting, or do you want to be asleep? And if you got a job or life, kids to take care of, or a truck to drive or something, that's a no-go, right? So, I mean, I immediately was in as soon as I heard about it and tried it for myself. I was completely believe in the product, and that's part of what brought us together,
Yeah. Very, very interesting stuff here. I want to get to our questioning, guys. If you have questions, put them in the chat, and we're going to get to those. I want to get to a couple of questions first. I want to talk about your most recent news. You guys have been on the social media a lot, and I just, you guys secured a $1 million line of credit, and you affirmed no reverse split. And so
Correct.
Also recently, you did the buyback and retirement of the preferred Class D shares. Right. And so tell us a little bit about, just where we're at share structure wise. There has been a little pushback online on Twitter in regards to the fact that the price has gone down. Obviously, you're gonna get that. Are there people selling from the inside from management? And what can you just tell us overall about the share structure? And
Sure.
is it going to be
Yeah.
sound going forward?
So first of all, let me just say for all the Twitter folks out there, I don't control the stock price. If I did, we'd all be rich. But what I can do, I am doing. So, I came in, there was a mess. You guys have looked at our financials. You've seen all the preferred classes, that were out there, not even necessarily being used. You saw our restricted count was a little bit ridiculous. So we've been taking action about this. We're fixing the restricted count. We are, we're not giving our shares away. And I've tried to be, explain this on Twitter and such, but we're going to protect our voting rights in a controlled block. We're going to protect our equity in a second block, and we'll have a third block for our preferred investors.
Okay.
We'll probably rename them. It'll be XYZ instead of ABC, because we're just, we are trying to shed what the company was and rebuild it the way we want it to be. We're going to be here for a long time. Nobody in our company, since we have taken control, has dumped any shares. Forget dumping shares. We haven't even sold a single share. Matter of fact, these guys are still waiting on me to issue their preferred class shares right now. You know what I mean? So we're here long haul, and we're trying to make things as shareholder friendly as possible. We consider the shareholders to be part of the family. We're the kind of company that wants to take care of everybody. We want our shareholders, we want our employees, we want ourselves, we want our customers all to be happy. You know what I mean? Be glad that they did business with us. And I think that's a fairly big change from the way things were. I think it's a fairly different outlook than many of your other OTC companies. So yeah, we're going to keep doing it. We're going to, eventually we won't hold common stock at all. I still have a little bit. My board members still have a little bit. My lab director still has some. We're going to retire those, but obviously we have to be careful about that. We don't want to lose control of the company in the process. We had some issues with the previous control block. Actually just got transferred into my name today.
Wow.
So you should see some of those other dominoes start to fall fairly quickly in the next.
Yeah, it sounds good. Sam Aker from Sam Aker Finance, good guy. Hi, Sam. How you doing? Can you name your preferred share voting block? The preferred series CBD.
Will they let me do that?
I don't know.
Let me do that, if they'll let me do that,
do it.
Consider it done. I'll give it a try.
And I got to ask the question. I know you guys are really trying to tame the share structure, make it tight, which is great. Are you afraid that perhaps maybe that it might restrict you from obtaining more funding? Or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yep. And I've said before, you know what I mean? While I am hesitant to issue any common restricted shares as part of an acquisition or whatever, I am not ruling it out. I don't want to take that tool off the table. You know what I mean? I can't hobble myself like that in these negotiations. However, I will point out that we've been fairly successful so far in avoiding that. So for example, I'll point to our last acquisition, Mary J Pharmaceuticals. No common stock involved. Yeah. All preferred, all lockout. You know what I mean? And he shares our confidence in the company. In the negotiations, he clearly was like, I want to ride with you guys. Like, I know that this stock is worth more. You know what I mean? I'll take the hit. I won't get cash for my millions of dollars that I've invested in this, because I believe, you know what I mean, that you guys are going to go hard and I want to be there for it. That's what we're looking for when we're looking for corporate partners. That's what we're looking for, in companies that we're acquiring, people that are ready to go, ready to work. Again, another thing that sets us apart from a lot of these OTC companies, where it seems to be the standard is to look busy and try to get, public support without actually doing a hard day's work. So we're focusing more on that other bit.
Yeah, right on. And you mentioned Mary J. Could you guys talk a little bit about just the Mary J acquisition and the mobile extraction significance? And I read that and I was sort of like intrigued by that, the mobile extraction significance. Just have at it and tell us about this acquisition, guys.
Joe, you want to take this one?
Well, there's a lot of interesting tech that we got out of it. And one of the nice things is that when you're doing critical CO2 extraction, which is a really important process for getting government grants and actually having something official, it's a very clean process, and it came with a patent, which is actually kind of a big deal. because there's a lot of companies that are suing other companies over use of their SOPs. So I think that was one of the nicer things about that acquisition is just a lot of the tech and it actually came with like patented SOPs.
What define SOPs for our audience?
Standard operating
operating
procedures.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
just so you know,
To touch on the mobile aspect, though,
the mobile aspect
it's really
that
unique.
one,
It's
yeah.
really unique. It's really interesting. And it's a way. So like we're all about sustainability, right? Economic sustainability. Obviously, we want our stock to go up. We want to be profitable. We want revenue. Social sustainability, environmental sustainability. We consider these things as well, right? And a lot of times you'll see as states legalize, and we saw this with the Farm Bill as well. Big companies come in. They want to lock down as much as they can. They want to set up barriers to entry to try to lock out your smaller farmers, your smaller operations, right? Well, those small farms and those small operations, that's who built this industry. And it doesn't particularly sit right with me or with anybody on my team that they're just getting cut out, right? One of the reasons that they can't compete with these major companies is because they don't have in-house capabilities. They've got a farm. That's it. They don't have a lab. They don't have a scientist that knows how to run a lab. You know what I mean? They could probably make some good products and sell them, but all they're growing is flour. The market is pretty saturated on flour unless it's top of the top shelf, and they don't know what to do. So this gives us an opportunity to help folks like that out. We can go to their location. We can do the extraction there, all organic. And it's a fairly rare thing and unique thing to be certified USDA organic for hemp products. We can give them an opportunity to be like, hey, this is farm to table, right? Now they have a niche that they can utilize to compete against these major companies, right? Because, the Monsanto of weed can't say they're farm to table, right? That's not locally produced. So we're trying to create niches in the market for these people to exist and to compete against the major players, and provide better offerings for people, more choice, better, cleaner products,
Absolutely. Could you talk more specifics about permits and patents and trademarks along with that?
Well, so right now the only FDA approved CBD product on the market is a PDLX. I don't know if you've heard of that or not. It's an anti-seizure medication, and they were actually just sued. They as the plaintiff, they actually won the suit. So the suit didn't stand, but people are starting to actually sue over SOPs for critical CO2. So I just having that patent for this process is just important to protect the company.
For the record, we're not intending to utilize this patent in a litigious manner.
It's for protection. It protects us.
Well, it does protect us. We're also kind of working out a plan where we're going to reach out to some of these people and offer them licensing agreements. We're going to try to bring them into the family, help them develop their products a little bit better, help develop more marketing opportunities for them. You know what I mean? So we're going to use it to build the company. And we think it's going to be a very powerful tool to do so. We're not going to go around suing people for doing critical CO2 extractions. We could, but we're not gonna. Trademarks, there's some really good trademarks in there. They are being used right now by some other companies. It is what it is. Permits though, that's a pretty big thing. We don't have a unifying permit that you can get here for most of this stuff. So everything's state by state. Often it's per state, and then it's also hemp versus med cannabis versus rec cannabis, often all different permits. So, it is a very expensive barrier to entry. And it's also just red tape, hassle, things that slow you down, and not for nothing, we've got orders, so many orders, and we've got product, but we need these little pieces of red tape have to fall into place before we can ship it out and get our money,
One of the big reasons Joe and I came in is because we had this product that we knew worked so well and had worked for so many people. And we were faced with probably $50,000 a year just in regulatory fees for permits in every state, so coming into something like this really helped us. And that's what we hope to then give the opportunity to other businesses to do, right? we still feel very much of an ownership over the cannabis, and anybody who kind of comes into the fold, if they want that, can continue to have that. And then we apply our marketing arm as well through, the web development and even this permitting. And really, we want to grease the wheels of people getting into the market and not just have it be so confined to those that have the, the big bucks. So,
and/or connections.
Yeah. Right on. We have a question from Barry the Great. What is the age demographic for your products?
Okay, that's a good question. Standard, we're going to say 18 and up. It would be great if we could say other things here, because it's well known, that this can be used for anti-seizure and stuff like that. And we are working on specific products for those things. But it's unfortunate that we can't really, we can't say that. We can't do that. We can't market to underage people, even though it would help them, et cetera, until we go full FDA approval, which, by the way, is a thing we are trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would never tell anybody what they can and can't do in their own home. Obviously, with somebody that if they had a need for it or a family member had a need for it, that's something that they need to decide. However, like Dave said, we are not allowed, or nor would we ever market directly to children, and we're not allowed also to market as a pediatric product. So, it really comes down to personal choice. What is good for you and your family. I know it would have, and your pets for that matter. I mean, I live in Idaho, and they just basically said you can't sell CBD pet products, which is wild. But yeah, I mean, it's basically kept my senior dog. Every time we take her to the vet, we're like, "How we doing?" And they're like, "She's the healthiest senior dog. Like, she's 13 as a bloodhound, so she should have probably been dead 2 years ago."
Wow.
But it keeps her going, keeps her happy, keeps her spry. Yeah.
Yeah. You hear a lot of positive things with the CBD, and I'm honestly, it's talked about a lot, but I think a lot of people don't really understand, its positive effects. I know people that have used it. I've used it, and I know for a fact that it has positive qualities that really is a natural pain reliever.
Just to fill in there for a second, not just our CBD products, but like, anything, our mitragynine stuff, our kava stuff, it's all probably going to be, we're going to say it's going to be 18 up. Just
right on.
For your listener.
Okay. Yeah. so for the listener, not for kids. All right. For kids. Yeah. Barry the Great's an awesome supporter. So I want to talk a little bit. This is right from your site. Basically, you pride yourselves on offering a superior CBD product that stands out in the crowded marketplace. Unlike many competitors who use CBD isolate, we opt for broad spectrum CBD in our formulations. So you guys could actually go to their site and check all this stuff out. And so I just want to ask you this. How are you guys going to disrupt the market? I mean, that's what this is about, is really disrupting that market. Tell me more about the product itself, the marketability. So maybe Doug, this would be you in regards to the marketability aspect, but in the profitability. And I'm not asking you for numbers. I'm not saying how much you're going to make next in quarter one, but just give us a general idea of just the product, the marketability, and the profit potential, I guess you could say.
So yeah, I'll touch on that a little bit. I'd say first and foremost, the way that we disrupt the market is by putting out a product that works for more people. When you use a product that just has CBD isolate, it's going to work for some, and it's going to be maybe less effective for many. But for me, for example, it just didn't work. I tried CBD before, and then I had this situation where I was taking some ADHD medication, which was really helping me, but I also had chronic migraines. So I had a headache every day. I was taking like 6 Excedrin. Right. And so tried CBD, didn't even touch it. And it was a tincture. But then, went to Joe. We talked about this a little bit. He did this product stuff.
I told him that maybe there was like a 10% chance I could get something to work, because I still believe that THC was necessary to bond THC was necessary to bond the CBD to the CB1 and CB2 receptors.
And most time companies will still say that that's the case.
Yeah. I mean, Mary J, when we were doing the negotiations, that's basically what he was saying. And everybody's looking back at me in the camera. And we had, like I said, done a lot of research on different terpenes and minor cannabinoids. And we're talking, lot of minor cannabinoids in there. And what we do is we'll go in and put in the right CBC level that you need, and the right CBG level that you need, and the right CBN level that you need. And it gets pretty meticulous, but stacking all that stuff up right, and then putting it with the proper terpenes, which there's different terpenes that work better for THC than CBD, we found. And what these terpenes do is they serve as a molecular binder to those receptors. And so in that way, we're able to do it without THC or with THC or whatever we want to do. But it really comes down to, I think that what most people do when they're doing a CBD product is they just say, hey, here's CBD, let's put it out there. I mean, you'll have a lot of CBD products out there that are named after old school marijuana strains. You know, there would be like a sour diesel CBD. It'll help you with
Things
headaches.
that don't exist.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's just been such a big marketing buzz with CBD that I think in some cases people just tried to ride the wave just because it was CBD. I mean, and there was other companies that were actually taking hemp oil and saying, hey, this is CBD, take this hemp oil, and there's nothing in there that's therapeutic at all. And so I think like the way that we disrupt it is by getting into receptor science, like specifically, and that's kind of at the heart of like what makes cannabinoids tick when it really comes down to it.
To expand on that, because we are in several other areas, not just cannabis or hemp, you know, we're planning on disrupting even bigger industries than that. We want to, you know, put our elbow in the ribs of the pharmaceutical industry as a whole. You know, we want to try to break the cycle of opioid addiction with some of our products. You know, we want to do some work in the mental health space as well. You know, a lot of people there is similar to the migraine story, right? I don't like this medication. It makes me feel bad, right? Or just makes me feel different, not me, or it doesn't make me not depressed, or it makes me want to kill myself. You know what I mean? There's better options out there, and we're going to try to bring them out. And, you know, typical pharmaceutical companies, they like you know, they steal their ideas from plants too. Almost every drug out here originally came from some type of ethnobotanical knowledge, right? But pharmaceutical companies like to find the plant that has that one alkaloid in it, or maybe two, and all of the results are the result of those two alkaloids being present, or one. And they like it simple. That way they can isolate it. They can synthesize it in a lab. They don't even have to grow the plants, and they just put that in a pill and off they go. Right. When you get into cannabis and things like mitragynine, it's not that simple. It's very complicated. And, you know, we're trying to apply that same line of reasoning that Joe has used here, you know, to make our Vape RX product applied to other substances that have similar properties. So with mitragynine, it's not just mitragynine. There's a whole list of minor alkaloids in there, just like with the cannabis plant. You know, and pharmaceutical industry has known about this for 100 years. Some of the research that we were going through in our literature reviews was from the early 1900s. And they were just like, yeah, this works. It does all the same stuff. But it's just cheaper and easier for us to grow opium, and then the people will be addicted to it. So it's more money. And they're just like, so we won't use this.
It is a profit cycle in the pharmaceutical industry. I don't think that's even disputable at this point. I think we know the truth, and people are starting to wake up to the truth. Paul has a question. Are you targeting certain states first with your products and getting in with lawmakers as best you can?
Okay. Lucky for us, you know, this product has no THC in it. So it's a hemp only product. So we have less regulatory tape that we have to deal with. And we're going
one note about that. The reason we're able to do that. So in Idaho, for example, where I live, you can't even have the 0.3% that is allowed everywhere else. There's a few states like that as well. And so being that I am from Idaho and that we kind of had a leg up because we were already developing this product with zero THC, like none. No. So anyway, sorry to.
No, that's the reason.
That's
the reason.
All right. Thank you. I also have a question from Rodney Schumann. You've seen him on the Twitter, I'm sure.
Oh, my buddy Rodney.
Yes. Are you going to be able to get through the red tape and to generate quarter higher revenues? Don't want to sue everyone infringing, but don't you need to at least look into some that are infringing?
Okay. Yes. So we are going to be looking into people that are infringing, but we're not going to sue them. We're going to go reach out to them and see if we can help, you know, improve their products, offer them marketing opportunities, et cetera. You know, like I said, we're going to use it as a revenue gaining activity. I don't want to say anything certain here, but like we're
Yeah.
just not the type to really. We're not seeking this out from a litigious standpoint. Can you put his question back up so I can get to the first part of it?
The first part was about quarter.
Oh, right.
quarter
Yes.
revenue.
Okay. So we're working on it. We have products on shelves now. We have orders in the queue that we just need to fill. We have made sales already. We are absolutely planning on stacking revenue and building it through the quarters. We do expect exponential growth once we get all of these things free and clear. And it's sometimes it's permits, sometimes it's a COA, sometimes it's the labels didn't get here, and this is just the growing pains because it's the first time or two that we've ordered from some of these suppliers, and we're trying to get the best price, and sometimes the best price doesn't come the quickest. It is what it is. We're struggling through it, but once all those blocks are out of the way, you're going to see some nice revenue production and growth. We've got people calling us regularly. We've put product out for people to test and sample. We've got great feedback. So yeah, we're really confident in that area.
Right on. I have another question here from Brad Earnhardt. Brad, by the way, how you doing? Hope you're well. Any history with CBD yet helping with reducing smoking? Not sure if you guys have tackled that yet.
I haven't even looked into it, to be totally honest.
Yeah,
there you go.
Like
not on my radar.
I'd say you might like if it's an oral fixation and that's kind of the thing, then it is a good replacement for that if you use the vape product. Again, it's also a vape product, so
I'll tell you this much: we have an anti-anxiety formula that we'll be releasing fairly soon. I would say that a big part of quitting smoking is probably the anxiety and feelings that you get when you don't have a cigarette, right?
Also comes in vape form.
Seems like it might be able to help. Well, maybe we'll add that to some of our preclinical trials and see.
Yeah,
we'll
great.
add that.
That's actually a good question to ask.
We can very easily add that question to the data
surveys.
Yeah,
right on. I want to keep going here. I want to talk about the letter of intent to acquire $6 million in assets and additional facility space. All right, so
yeah, that's right.
I read this and I want you guys to tell me more about this, and you're gonna have an open house date. So talk about this.
All right. So I'm not gonna name the company. They're a little shy. So we've agreed to keep that private until we sign. But it's looking very promising. They've got some really high capabilities. They built a great lab. They ran into some trouble at the end. I guess they their funding was running dry. Some things came back on inspection that they needed help with. You know what I mean? So basically, we're an avenue for them to solve those problems, and then also help them with distributing their products. I also help them with marketing and branding their products. So it's a pretty. It looks like we're going to be able to complement each other very well, and it takes the pressure off of our lab here in Melbourne. I've got to be careful what I say here so I don't give away too much. The thing that they specialize in is a thing that's kind of a pain in the butt for us to do here on a large scale. So they can take that off of our hands. We can kind of just do some of the early lab work, get their precursors and stuff like that. And then they can crank that product out on a large scale for us and for other folks too. They have crazy high throughput. They've got some really good scientists and lab techs in there. It's a great facility. I can't wait to announce that we've closed on that acquisition. And I hope that I'm going to be able to do that real soon.
Excellent. Great. I do want to go back to that $1 million line of credit. You could give me a brief answer on this because I know we're limited on time. What's the interest and conditions on that? How's it going to be used and applied?
Okay. 10% annual, 10%, 5-year term, nothing fancy. It's covering our operations. It's covering the the cash payouts that we've had to make for acquisitions, which have been very minimal. It is helping to cover the buyout of preferred D, which is major. I mean that's the bulk of it right now. We've been doing equipment purchases, we've been doing hardware purchases, that kind of stuff.
Of chemicals, CBD, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
manufacturing equipment.
We're barely scratching at that line of credit, and we get regular offers for additional funding, which obviously we're not taking right now because we are funded. We're operating fine. We are keeping them on ice though, because we do have some big expansion plans down the road. So we're keeping all those options available.
Right on. Okay. Now I gotta say, Dave, I've been watching you on Twitter. I've been watching you on Twitter. Been creeping on Twitter. No, you're pretty. Your personal account's pretty vocal. You know, and I've seen a lot of CEOs and a lot of people get like entangled in these arguments with shareholders. Sometimes I believe they're not even shareholders and they're just trolls. In an attempt to like, as you guys go forward, the social media presence of Branded Legacy, what can we expect to hear? And are you going to continue to be vocal on Twitter and social media?
Okay, so I like to be able to allow shareholders and just the public in general to interact with me as much as possible. In addition to Twitter, you can call our office and talk to me. Anybody out there listening, you can call my office tomorrow and get me on the phone. You can come down here if you want. We have an open door. You don't have to walk through call center, and you're probably going to interrupt us in some lab work, but you can do it. You know, so I'm trying to be as transparent and as accessible as I can. I'm going to continue doing that on Twitter to the extent that I am able. You know, basically what happens is I keep the Twitter window open somewhere on my computer when I'm in between meetings or calls or whatever. I'll check the notifications real quick. If anything that I could respond to in the amount of time I have, I do it. And I move on. You know, early on when we were still, you know, I had so much time in a day where I'm just waiting. Okay, these guys have to deliver this stuff, and there's like nothing we can do until it gets here. Twitter, right? But as things pick up and keep moving, and we get busier and busier, I'm going to have a lot less time for that. And I think that you're going to see a reduction in the amount of time that I have to just, you know, answer these people's questions on that forum. But we do have a media team. We have a marketing team. They will keep, you know, the Branded Legacy main going. The information will still be there. You know, it's just not going to be somebody there to retort to you when you accuse us of not retiring the shares we retired or whatever it is that they're on about that given day.
Right on. You know, and, you know, it was funny because I had to ask that because I did see you going back and forth, not in a malicious way or anyway, but like you're pretty vocal with people that were asking questions, which is, so it's good to see some transparency there. Would you guys even like, you know, like from the company site, maybe put some pictures of your facilities, some of your products out in the future? That way that people get to see firsthand operations, especially after you guys get the facility.
Once the facility's all commissioned and everything's said and done, we're gonna do a lot of media in there, I think. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. I know we're tight on time. I did want to finish with just one big question, and that is your message to shareholders. And if I could go around the table here, and if you guys each want to take a stab at it. This has actually been a very, very educational session. So thank you guys for coming on. I appreciate it.
Hey,
and I hope
my pleasure. And we're happy to come back anytime you want us.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I had a list of stuff to get through. I mean, like I still like you guys are welcome anytime. So just your overall message to shareholders. What's something you want shareholders to know and convey to them and to shareholders or potential shareholders?
Get them, boys.
I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go first so nobody steals my answer.
All right.
No, just kidding. I would say probably as that we're all in it for the long haul. You know, I mean, really, like we believe in these products. We have been helped by these products. Like, I mean, we're in it for the long haul. There's no pump and dump. There's no trying to get the stock price up and then we're out. Like this is what I see myself doing for the foreseeable future. Like it's a good combination of my strengths and where my interests lie. And but more than anything, it's just an opportunity to help people who deal with pretty pernicious problems in their life, you know, migraines and depression and anxiety and sleep and the need for, you know, whatever, or you've stressed out your adrenal glands so bad, you need something that's not going to do that. I mean, there's so many ways that we can help people. And I think that's a big hallmark of our team is that I think if I can say so, I think we all come from a place of personal, background where it applies to this. So we're in it for the long haul.
Not just the three of us either. The whole rest of
all
the
of
team.
us. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all been inspired by like helping out family members and friends with their problems. You know, when I first met Dave face to face, and he was kind of telling me a little about the company and stuff. And are we still? Oh, okay, grab that up.
Yeah, we're good.
He was kind of telling me about what we were going to do as a company. and he said the words traditional ecological knowledge. I was like, wow, I just found my dream job, because that there's been no way that I've been able to help out like friends and family more than like looking up a lot of this traditional medicine that has been out there, that because of the pressures of kind of like the financial orthodoxy just don't come to market anymore. And they're good. There's a lot of really good solutions out there that are really going to change people's lives, and that's really what we're all about. And so for me, that's kind of my dream as far as like developing those types of products, and you know, getting into, you know, operations on that level where I can help out with the marketing. And, you know, another thing that we want to do is to kind of honor those cultures that have kept this technology and these medicines and these remedies alive for so long, and kind of honor them, like tell their story. And if we can do anything to help out their material conditions, you know, to help them out, you know. So that's just, it's like Dave basically offered me my dream job. And you know, I believe in these products. They've been able to you know, most of them have been developed to help friends and family. And so that would be my message, is that I believe that these are going to work for people. There's not going to be a lot of harm. There's not going to be a lot of like the same thing that goes on with traditional pharmaceuticals, where we're going to have a lot of liabilities and things like that, because there's a lot of like harm reduction. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
That's pretty solid. That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
The only thing I really want to add is, and I believe I mentioned it earlier, that we want to keep sustainability at the forefront of everything we're doing. I think that people who have been watching have seen our commitment to that in terms of fiduciary economic sustainability, right? And I think you're going to see what we can do coming up here in the next few months in terms of like social stuff. We've got a lot of great programs coming out. We've got a lot of great products coming out. You're going to be seeing some news from us. We're excited to grow as a company, and we hope some of you guys at least will come with us.
Awesome. Dave, Joe, Doug, thank you very much for joining me on the BFC. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Eric,
thanks for having us,
man.
It was fun.
I'm rooting for you guys, and I'm rooting for your shareholders. Awesome work. All right, Rob, get these guys out of here. Get them out.
All right.
It's always good. I love having new guests. I honestly can't wait to have those guys on. There's a lot. You know what? The one thing I'm realizing is when I do this is when I sit down with a new company, it's a lot to take in. But I'm rooting for those guys. I've been following them for about a month and a half now, and I can't wait to have them on for another update very, very soon. All right, so let's keep this party going. I know a lot of you are here for this too. For far too long, Americans have not been able to buy CYBL, but that has all changed this week. All right. And I want to give a sincere thanks and shout out to Will OS for discovering this in his quest to acquire more shares. Thank you, Will, very much. And let's get right into this. I want to bring in the president of Speed Trader, Mr. Joe Eli. Bring him in. Joe, welcome to the BFC. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, now this is pretty exciting here, and so I appreciate you sitting in the green room and waiting all that time, and you're a man of patience, and I really appreciate you coming on at such short notice.
Yeah, no problem. Well, the material was very engaging, very interesting to hear what the guys had to say.
It always is. It always is. So I want to just get into this. Tell us what you do at Speed Trade. Now, what I'm going to do here is this. As he's talking, I'm going to go through the website. I will post the link in this chat right here. And he's going to tell you basically what they do, how you could get shares, how you could sign up for an account. And I'm just going to sort of surf through the site, and I'll put the link for it in the description. So if you guys have questions, this is our opportunity right here to get a CE stock, one that we have had our eyes glued to. So, Joe, the floor is yours.
Well, I appreciate it. So one of the things I've been accused of being from New York is that I speak a little fast. So, you know, excuse me if I you know, stumble on my words and, you know, try to provide too much information quickly. But basically a little background about myself. I've been involved in the stock market and trading since I graduated from college. Right out of college, I started working as a trader's assistant with a small SOES stock brokerage firm in the 90s. So I've been doing this basically my entire life. Right now, Speed Trader, I'm president CEO. We've been around since 1999, and basically we've been offering the same basic kind of services to active day traders since then. We're called, or what we refer to ourselves, is a direct access brokerage firm. We're kind of a boutique type firm. We're not a big national box company like TD or Schwab or whatnot. We're a relatively small firm, but
you had big experience though. I mean, you were with Master Trader for 13 years.
Yeah.
You know, you were with Lightspeed. You know what I mean? So you have. I mean, you're it.
Yeah. I've been doing this for a while, and the whole time it's been with similar type firms. I shouldn't say similar, virtually the same exact firms. Master Trader, Lightspeed, and Speed Trader. I mean, it's almost the same company. So going into what we're offering is, we're giving traders the ability to trade stocks that recently have been not allowed to be able to trade in the U.S. I've been around long enough where pinks and bullies, they were big way back when. The SEC and regulators really kind of put the kibosh on that and really tried to stop people and firms from offering, trading in these securities. But if you actually, look at what they did and what the rule is, it doesn't say that you can't trade. There's no rule that says you cannot trade this. It's really just kind of something that's been, put in place by all the brokerage firms. They just don't want to provide that type of business for whatever reason. But, we see it as an opportunity for us. There's a lot of good people out there with, who are suitable to invest in or trade these types of stocks. And as long as they understand the risks and they're suitable, we're going to provide the service for them.
That's awesome. I'm going to actually share your website right here, and I'm just going to scroll through this. So this is the speedtrader.com. And so these are the services that you offer. You have, I think it's screen sharing. I don't know.
I can see it. Yeah,
perfect.
Absolutely. If you just go to the platforms drop down real quick, you can see.
Absolutely.
So we offer, there's multiple ones on there, but basically we offer 3 different trading platforms. Speed Trader Pro, it's powered by DOS Trader. It's a desktop-based PC software that is designed for active day trading. People that want to execute multiple trades, many trades per day, use hotkeys, and get super fast executions. That's what that's designed for. We also have a web-based active, we call it Active Web. It's a browser-based trading platform, and then we have a mobile app. So you can choose which one you want. People that are just going to invest in something and really not be too active, the mobile or Active Web would be appropriate for them. Pricing, if you just hover over pricing, definitely suggests that everyone take a look at each of the 4 pricing pages. But basically what we're offering for bulletin board and pink sheets is a per trade commission rate. Firms like us, active day trading firms, typically charge a per share fee. And, if you're paying, 0.002 per share and you want to trade 1 million shares, it would just kill you. You wouldn't be able to do it. So we're offering it on a per trade basis, $4.49 per trade. But then we do also have a routing fee. So we're a direct access firm. We provide 30 to 40 different order routes for all kinds of different traders. Some people, want, access to retail liquidity pools, market makers, dark pools, exchange routes, and so forth. So we provide those types of routes for the different types of traders. But for bulletin boards and pink sheets, we have 2 routes available. One of them is fairly inexpensive. It's 0.00 3 zeros and a 1. So basically what it comes out to is $100 for every 1 million shares traded. So you can buy and sell, well, on each side, you can buy 1 million shares of a bulletin board and pink sheet for $104.49.
And when you sell, what is it when you get out?
It's the same. It's the same. Our cost is the same on the way in and the way out.
Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand, yes, that is a higher fee, but once we got to realize that this is CE, so you're not going to get it anywhere else. And 2, if you're really, and I'm thinking about this from a CyberLux perspective, so I'm talking CYBL, and Joe here is not in any way, shape, or form endorsing the buying of CyberLux. They're just
that's the other thing.
I want to make sure that's clear.
While you and a few people, a few hundred people recently or more recently have asked about that particular stock, we have had very many people ask about other stocks, a couple in particular, and then there's always people that have specific stocks that that are their favorites and they want to be able to trade. So this isn't really just about one particular stock.
Yeah, and I could think of a couple others too that I would maybe want to pick up.
Sure.
You know, CNNA being one of them. I'm just saying that. Remember, this is not financial advice.
Well, that's the other thing. We don't.
You know,
one of the reasons that we can do this is we don't provide advice. We don't provide any recommendations. Everyone has to make their own investment decisions. We don't. We're not an active market maker. We don't quote stocks. We provide the service. So we don't have any interest in what you trade or what you do or don't trade. So we're just here to provide the service so you can make your own decisions and investments.
And you had a meeting earlier with OTC, and you had a meeting to make sure that everything was, because I know you were getting, people were asking questions whether or not
Well, so many people were telling me that I was crazy and that you couldn't trade it. And I know very well that you can. It's just the brokerage firms that haven't allowed it. So yeah, we set up a meeting today with OTC Markets and got someone on the phone. I'm like, why are people telling me they can't trade this? And we went through and hashed out the SEC rule, the 15C 2-11, and it really has to do with firms quoting the stock. Whether they're allowed to quote it as a proprietary firm. I actually have it up here on the site. So. What do they call it?
Remember that 15C 2-11, guys. Do a little DD there.
Yeah, definitely. So if you go to OTC Markets website and you pull up a stock and there's multiple tabs, you click on quote. On the quote tab, if you scroll down, it tells you whether a stock is proprietary quote eligible or not. And that's what 15C 2-11 really refers to. If OTC Markets deems that it hits certain criteria where firms aren't allowed to quote it, and that's really what it's about. It has nothing to do with.
And where was that? Because I have OTC. I'm pulled up right now. I could share this with everybody just to show you guys.
Yeah, pull up any stock and then click on the quote tab. So it goes overview, quote, company profile.
All right, let me just get rid of this one here. And I'm going to share this. I just want to make sure that. All right. Let's just take this stock, for example. Okay. CYBL. Here it is. Now, where am I looking? Quotes.
Just scroll down a little bit. I mean, obviously, you have to read the warnings. I mean, you have to know what you're investing in and what the publicly or the disclosed information is. Scroll down a little bit more right here. Proprietary quote eligible. It says PQE status, yes. So that means that all brokerage firms can post a quote for the stock, which is why we're going to allow people to trade it. If there are no quotes, we're not going to allow you to trade it. I don't want anyone buying or getting into a position that they may not be able to sell. So one of our criteria is that has to have a two-sided quote. It's got to be able to buy it and sell it. That's basically a firm. Our specific firm's criteria for allowing someone to trade something.
Right on. Thank you for sharing that. So there it is, guys. It's right there, and that's why Speed Trader is able to do this. So I want to get to how we actually do the process. This is now you're going to hear the term Axos. So you have to do it like this. This is how it's going to go. Right?
So we offer two different clearing firms, but because we've had so much interest in this type of trading, we can only do it through our clearing firm Axos. So we remove the other firm from our website so people don't accidentally get hung up, on the clearing firm where they can't trade. But basically, you click on the open account button and it brings you to this page. You put in your email, you create a password, you hit submit. It's a typical online form. You're going to put in your name, address, financials. There's really not anything too special about it. It's going to be very similar to what everyone is used to doing at any other brokerage firm. You click submit at the end. What happens is our new accounts group reviews it. Typically, we get it done within 24 hours, but because we've had so many new account applications, we're probably closer to 2 days before an account gets reviewed. It's funny, as I sit here right now, I have our new accounts group trying to open accounts for a lot of people right this second.
One of them's mine.
You know, at
And I
nine
can tell you guys
o'clock.
right now, it is exactly. I mean, you fill out your information, your social, your address, like the typical your driver's license, just like you did for TD Ameritrade. And I gotta say, like, you know, you guys were much quicker. I gotta say, you know, in regards to customer service, and I'm really glad that we could bring you on and do this. So sorry, continue on. I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. So you submit the application, our new accounts group will review it. We send everything through email. So once your account is reviewed, you know, I would say 90% get approved, you know, with one review. There are some accounts where we have to ask for further information. We'll send you an email. We'll say your account's approved. Here's your account number. Here's how you fund it. Or we'll say, you know, please clarify A, B, and C on your application. But, you know, most 90% get approved with the first review. When that happens, you need to wire in funds to fund your account. If you send a wire, typically before 2 o'clock Eastern, we'll receive that wire the same day, and you'll be set up to trade the following morning by 9 a.m. And what we do is we email you the login, your credentials, and the login instructions. So, you know, we've had a lot of people, you know, fill out the application, get approved, and, you know, they you know, ask questions. So what's the next step? What's the next step? So, I mean, these are really the steps. And if you just wait and read what we send you in your email, the steps are pretty straightforward and simple, but you just need to be a little patient because it does take time to get all this stuff done.
You were extremely accommodating, actually. You know, you got back to us. I know a beast mode activated. He's on it. You know, he's good to go. I know you know our real names. It's funny how we have these like these,
I'm like, I don't know that person.
I'm E-Rock. We got Beast Mode. We got Willow S. But no, I really appreciate that. Now there is a $2,500 minimum to open an account, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. My other question is this: once you have shares, are you able to transfer them to a different broker?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. You hear that, guys? So you could change, transfer them to Schwab or.
To be honest, I don't know if they'll accept them.
Okay.
You'd have to ask Schwab or whomever else you want to send the stock to. I don't know how you get an answer from
they
like
may
that.
They may not.
If you need an answer from us, you just call us or chat us. We'll give you an answer. But I don't know if they'll accept it.
Well, I could tell you, even in doing private placements in small penny stocks, which I've done, the goal of them getting to a higher share price is that they're transferable to a broker like Schwab or E-Trade or whatever. So that they may not accept the transfer, but you guys are going to have it through Speed Trader, and you guys could do deposits directly. You could do sell orders, and you could do deposits straight to your bank account. Correct?
Right.
There you go. Man, do you see this page? Do you see this page right here? Begin and access application. It doesn't get any better than that. This was a great week, and if you have any questions, seriously, reach out to Joe. He's accessible. I know that you've had a lot of influx of people, and here's Beast Mode, the Beast. I finalized my account today with Speed Trader, and yes, I had to make a call or two for some clarifying questions, but customer service was responsive and extremely helpful. Here's Rodney. The Speed Trader team is very good, extremely helpful, and follow through. My account was opened in a few hours. Wire went out. Told me wire was received, and by 9 a.m. got email with username and password. So, Joe, thank you so much.
Yeah, just want to point that out. That's a really important. I mean, I'll just one quick thing. So, you fund your account on say Thursday. We'll email you by 9 a.m. on Friday with your login instructions. So that, you know, just be patient. Even though you sent the wire, the following morning you'll be ready to go. And
so you don't have to wait 4 days.
No, you don't. if you wait more than 2 days,
you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys with the 4-day waiting, you know.
Yeah, if you wait more than a day, give us a call.
That's always why you should have cash on hand in your account. Joe, Eli, I wish you all the best and thank you. We'll be in contact, and I'm going to have you on in the future just to educate people on, you know, trading in general and how to set up an account. And I'm glad that the BFC is going to bring you some business because you are the one and only that is accepting trade orders for CYBL, Cyberlux. And like I said, he is not endorsing it. This is me, not him. And so I endorse Cyberlux, by the way. Joe, thank you for being a part of Buffalo Fireside Chats.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, get that guy out of here. Get him out. Oh my gosh, that is awesome and a breath of fresh air. And I'm telling you, if you're not excited, I don't know what else to tell you. You know, like honestly, that was great. I give him patience for waiting, definitely while we were talking. You know, so thank you to Joe, thank you to the whole BLEG team, and I do got to talk about something else because we're into this an hour, and there's two other things I want to talk. I want to talk about ILUS. Okay, I want to talk about ILUS. All right, share price action stinks. Oh, doesn't it stink? Just bad. But it's undervalued. I'm going to double my position at 005. That's what I say. If I don't like, there's end of year selling. It is what it is, you know, and it's been in a downtrend for a while. We're waiting that QIND uplist. I've not wavered in conviction. The management is still accessible. Things haven't gone the way they planned. Obviously, there's setbacks, there's hurdles, but you know what the truth is? If an uplist was easy, every single person would be doing it. That's just it. Everybody would be doing it, but they're not. And so I do think companies like CYBL and ILUS, you know, they're trying to break that mold of the typical OTC. And if you look at the revenues, if you look at what they're doing, if you look at the conglomerate that ILUS is building, and if you look at all the legs of the spider, like I like to say, this is when you buy the stock. This isn't when you sell it. You sell it when it's down. Or you buy it when it's down. That's what you do. You buy it when it's down. Stock is low, you buy it. Stock goes up, you sell it. Problem was, during the pump of 2021, everybody bought the stock, rode it up to 50 cents, and rode it all the way back down and crashed and burned. Now, listen, that thing ran on hype. And I'm not saying that's not saying they're a bad company, but a lot of these stocks just ran on that. Does it warrant the price now? Absolutely not. But you have to look at the market that we're in, the funding that we're getting, and the sentiment. Yes, sentiment is poor. All right, people wanted results. And I guarantee you, when you see QID uplist, if they get through that whole process, I think you're going to see a complete reversal. And that's just my opinion. But as for me, I'm not panicking. I'm in long-term capital gains, and I'm going to double up when I deem appropriate for myself. You do what you want to do. This isn't financial advice, but I'm not wavering, and that's that. And so I do want to talk about IGPK. And yes, some of you were waiting up for the Nick Link vodcast, you know, and that's one thing. I would give you guys that. That's why I do the joke about the ILUS timeline pills, is because, yeah, you know, saying that, oh, we're going to have a series of videos coming out in the next week, and then they don't. Yeah, that's shooting themselves in the foot. I'll say it. It is. So I wouldn't even promise any videos, which is probably the safest way to do it. But I stand behind the management. This is my long-term play for me. 2 years ago, getting in with heavy due diligence, got to meet them at a shareholder meeting. I may or may not go in January, not because of the share price, just because of personal obligations. Hopefully I could go. But no, I said this is a 5-year hold. This is something that I'm looking towards in the future. They're building a conglomerate, and I'm sticking to it. You disagree with me? That's fine. If you're not into it, you're not into it. That's fine. But I do want to talk about IGPK. So IGPK, yes, I had the former CEO Gene on multiple times, and we even put together a really nice virtual tour of the facility. Let me know if you actually have IGPK, and if you're in that. But we put together a nice virtual tour. Unfortunately, I've yet to hear back from Gene, and it is what it is. Business is business, you know. But a courtesy farewell to the BFC would have been appreciated. I'm just saying. But I will say good luck to Gene and the now resigned IGPK management, or former IGPK management. So something obviously came up, and they got out. I personally think that their company was going to be really profitable, and they said, why pay money for all the filings? Let's go private. And so, but they did leave a really, really clean shell. But they also left us with a Chinese reverse merger. Let's talk let's talk a little bit just about this. I know Stock Player 30 has been on this. Let's go through here. We have the tweet. This is the tweet. And, you know, they said that this is big news. You know, we're ready to go. They didn't say we're ready to go. That was me. But basically, it was going to be big news, substantial events. IGPK has filed its third quarter report. The company has completed a reverse merger with JFH Digital E-Commerce Corp., which resulted in a change of ownership and control. More information will be released by the incoming company. Watch OTC for updates. The report can be read here. And so I went through that report, and we have subsequent events, on November 30th, 2023, the company completed a reverse merger with JFH Digital E-Commerce Corporation. As a result of the reverse merger, a rescission agreement was entered into with Consolidated Global and Tahoe. The subsidiary Houdini Group was dissolved. As a result of the merger, there were no shares of preferred outstanding. Closing and the shares of preferred or Series A were issued to the incoming company, along with the shares of common stock. All officers and directors resigned, and below is a list of new management of the new management team. We have a CEO Wang Dejun, CFO Zi Weiji, 3 Yang Lefang, Wei Tu Lo, and I'm just kidding, Zhu Henyan, and Wang Wei. So, stock player 30, he goes, looking through the filings and noticed this, and I noticed this as well, like zeros everywhere. After they did their reverse merger, the GFH Digital E-Commerce Corp, GFH, will now basically be working with a clean shell to move into. All notes payable were canceled along with all debt. Clean shell makes this interesting. Yes, it does. All right. These reverse merger plays have been known to just take off. And so you can just look through here, and he posted all this. This is great due diligence by Stock Player 30. Shout out to you. But if you look at this, and when I first looked through the report, I'm like, man, they didn't do anything. But the truth is, I bet they did do a lot of revenue because their quarter on quarter was great for quarter 2. And then, quarter 3 was just nothing. So I believe they call it taking the money and running. But, I don't know the whole story. So I'm not going to bash. That's not my forte. That's not something I do here. I don't bash companies. I'd like to just have a conversation with Gene just to talk about what came up and how they were able to do this reverse merger. I'm in another reverse merger play, and so I'm not going to mention it, but I'm pretty excited about it. So this is what it is. Yeah. So let me know what you guys think about IGPK. Right now, I mean, it's literally. Did I study abroad in Beijing? Very impressive pronunciation. Did I get any of those right? Did I get Wei Tu Lo? Eric Tracy. Yep, I'm a holder of IGPK. Yeah, and hold we shall, I guess, right? But no, I mean, by the way, Eric Tracy, you're great on the social media. You're always retweeting, and shout out to Eric Tracy. Seriously, thank you for being a supporter. But no, I gotta say, it is what it is. This thing is bounced off of that quadruple bottom 0006. This thing has ran before. I've took profit on it. All right, I'm not down. There are people that have been holding and waiting. And I'm gonna say, I feel for the people that are actually waiting, that were waiting for the news, and they bought it 003, 002. They were doubling down, boom, boom, boom. And we did that whole thing, and it's just like, man. But that is the risk we take as investors. And I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling the burn of this for the first good 12 hours, and ask anybody in the Discord or anybody. By the way, we're starting new due diligence on this one in the Discord, and that we're actually finding some stuff, and it's good. And I'm not going to put that there because you know what, we have a private Discord, and I know some people are like, well, why do you do the private Discord? You know why? Because, and this is my personal opinion, we want to create a solid base of solid investors and good people. You know what? And that's a $20 fee for all the information that we're going to be sharing and building and having access to, management teams and private placements and much more. And maybe some giveaways, which I am not ready to announce yet, but you guys definitely want to stay tuned. Definitely want to stay tuned on that. But no, I want a group of solid individuals that can be vetted. I just don't want, there's so many of these Discords and these telegrams where it's just like you have 2,000 people and 1,500 of them are useless. I want people that are going to contribute to the community. I'd rather have a small, strong community than 100,000 people that just want to leech off of everybody, not contribute anything. And that I agree with 100%. I want people that actually want to contribute, people that want to spend time doing due diligence, not just somebody sitting on the sidelines, taking in all the information and just being a user. I like people that share. And I'm telling you, we have about 30 people right now in there, and Lisa Matthews is one, and there's a bunch actually. Swings It has done a great job. That will do the digging and will do the research. And let me tell you, in the next year, I think this Discord is going to grow into something nice, and I look forward to developing sound friendships with you guys and doing a better job trading and investing. You know, the goal is to always get better. And you know what? I don't want to just let everybody in. Oh, everybody just come on in. No, because then it turns out to be a shit show. You get trolls left and right. So I like vetting people at this point because I see it for what it is. But I also see that there's a lot of good people out there, and that's what matters to me. So, yeah. So I don't know. Today was a very, very good day. I hope you guys found this useful with CYBL. I mean, we will blew this thing right open. So guess what? Go get it. Go get it. You want CYBL? Go get it. It's right there. Right there. Ah, that's good. So that's all I got. Oh, we got Paul. Shout out to Eric and the BFC, the best channel on YouTube covering OTC stocks and companies and taking it to the real live DD, like CEOs, etc. You know, I appreciate that. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And you know, like, look, like I know that I got some heat for having the CEO of Song on. All right, I wasn't invested there, but you know, it is what it is. By the way, very entertaining account. SONG is now very entertaining on the Twitter, and so but I'm not just picking on a song. I'm not picking on anybody because you know the whole thing about doing what I do is just to sit down and have a nice conversation with the CEOs and the management teams, and you guys decide, ask the questions. You know, a lot of people say, "Well, you should ask this." Well, just come and ask a question. That's what it's all about. It's about live firsthand due diligence. And you know what? I'm going to have people on. You're going to be like, no, I'm not investing in it. I'm going to have people on. Oh, I definitely want investment in that. I like what I hear. You know, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, guys, hit the like button. Yes. If Rob popped that on there. Seriously, hit the like button, guys. I've been doing this for a while now. I just ask for the like. Oh, man. What is it? Mad scientist. I was hoping I would have $1 million in XRP to put in Sybil. I need to get KG on an interview. I know you've mentioned that a couple times. One thing at a time. By the way, this is the last live. And what a way to end the year. Finding a way to buy CYBL when it's still CE. Think about that. What a way to end the year. This is my last live for December. I want to say, and I will be posting the new BFC Christmas card, but I want to say thank you guys for making this year, for making it spectacular. I had no idea going into this year that we would be interviewing CEOs and management teams almost every week. I have a lot planned for I have a lot planned for 2024. I think you guys are you're gonna like what I what I'm cooking up next. Actually, I think it's gonna be pretty damn cool. And I don't think anybody's going to see it coming. And I'm very, very excited. See, I'm starting to sound like an OTC company. Wait until you hear the news. 2 to 3 weeks. Soon. You see? It's when you hang around those people. That's what happens. But no, shout out to everybody. I wish you guys a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is. Have a great night. Be safe. Have a great, great 2024. We're going to make it a freaking awesome 2024. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to keep bringing in CEOs, management teams. We're going to keep doing due diligence. We're going to grow the Discord, grow the Patreon. We're going to grow this channel. And we're going to get this merch out there. That's what we're going to do. That's right. Rob's badass logo. That's all I got for today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And remember, guys, there is more that binds us than breaks us. Peace out.